All right. Welcome back, everyone. You ready to jump into another deep dive?
Always ready to explore.
Awesome. So today we're getting into something I think you're going to find super interesting, especially knowing you're already pretty into AI and all this stuff. We're diving into the world of transportation and logistics management, TLM for short.
Basically, the whole system of how things move from point A to point B.
Exactly. And it's a lot more complex than you might think at first glance. And with all the advances in tech, AI, automation, and the push for sustainability.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say things are changing fast.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, when was the last time you ordered something online and didn't immediately check for the tracking info?
Oh, I do that every time.
Right. We've all gotten so used to that instant gratification, that real-time visibility of where our stuff is.
Totally. It's like we expect to see our package moving across a map in real time. But it's not just speed anymore, right?
It's not. Sustainability is a huge factor now.
For sure. Consumers care about that stuff now more than ever. They want to know their purchases are coming from companies that are making responsible choices.
Absolutely. And the pandemic actually played a huge role in accelerating a lot of these trends. It really pushed businesses to get on board with digitalization and transparency.
Makes sense. So you're saying the pandemic kind of forced the issue?
Yeah, in a way. Take POS Malaysia, for example. They've implemented these really sophisticated real-time tracking systems.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
It gives customers, you and me, way more visibility into where their package is and when it'll arrive.
So that's pretty cool. But I'm curious, with all this information flying around, how are they making sure it's all secure? Like, how do you prevent fraud or tampering?
Great question. That's where blockchain technology is starting to make some serious waves.
Blockchain, isn't that like a cryptocurrency thing?
Yeah, it's used for that too, but in TLM, it's all about security and transparency. Think of it like a digital ledger that tracks every single movement of a shipment. So from the moment it leaves the warehouse to the moment it arrives at your doorstep, every step is recorded on this immutable, unhackable ledger.
So kind of like a digital fingerprint for every package.
Exactly. It guarantees authenticity and makes it almost impossible to mess with the data.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So where else are we seeing this kind of tech in action?
Well, look at Northport, one of the busiest ports in Malaysia.
Yeah, they're pretty huge.
They've gone all in on digitalization. They've got a smart port system that manages cargo movement with insane efficiency.
So it's not just about moving things faster. It's about making the whole system smarter, too.
You got it. They're minimizing delays, optimizing routes, all while reducing their environmental impact.
Okay, so we've talked about ports, but what about warehouses? Are they getting in on the action, too?
Oh, absolutely. They're becoming these high-tech hubs. You've got companies like DHL using IoT sensors to constantly monitor things like temperature and humidity inside their warehouses.
I guess that's super important for like medicine or food that needs to be kept at specific temperatures.
Exactly. It's about ensuring quality and safety all along the way.
Wow. Technology really is changing everything.
It really is. And it's not just in the warehouses themselves. It's transforming the way we get things delivered, too.
You mean like with self-driving trucks and stuff?
Yep. Those are already being tested out in various parts of the world. But even beyond that, companies are using AI and machine learning to develop these incredible algorithms to figure out the most efficient delivery routes.
That's wild.
Right. They take into account traffic patterns, weather, fuel efficiency, all sorts of factors, and come up with the optimal route in real time. It's crazy.
It really is mind-blowing how all this stuff is coming together.
And you know what's really interesting? Even things that we might take for granted, like using touch-and-go e-wallet to pay for deliveries.
Oh yeah, or like Lazada's tracking system.
Yeah, exactly. All of that contributes to a smoother, more streamlined delivery process.
I'm totally guilty of refreshing that tracking page every 5 minutes.
We all do it. But it just goes to show how integrated technology has become in every aspect of TLM.
So it's like we've got automation, sustainability, and this incredible digital revolution all happening at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to witness.
It really is. But there's another piece to this puzzle that we haven't talked about yet. Big data.
Ah, yes. Big data is basically the fuel that's driving a lot of these advancements.
How so?
Well, think about it. Logistics companies are dealing with massive amounts of data every single day.
That makes sense, I guess.
By using big data analytics, they can analyze this data to predict demand surges, optimize their resource allocation, and even anticipate problems before they happen. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive.
So it's like they're using data to get a glimpse into the future of their supply chain. So cool. But let's circle back to sustainability for a moment. What are some of the ways companies are putting those ideas into practice? Like, what are they actually doing to become more eco-friendly?
We're seeing a lot of exciting stuff happening on that front. For instance, some companies like CityLink Express are starting to use electric vehicles for their delivery fleets.
That makes a lot of sense.
And a lot of companies are also trying to cut down on plastic packaging and stuff like that. Plus, there's a growing trend towards building solar-powered warehouses and incorporating smart energy management systems.
That's amazing. So it sounds like companies are finally realizing that being eco-friendly isn't just good for the planet, it's good for business too.
Absolutely. And it's not just individual companies either. Here in Malaysia, we've got initiatives like the Green Logistics Partnership Program that are really helping to push the entire industry towards a more sustainable future.
Right. So it really does seem like sustainability is no longer an option, it's a necessity.
Exactly. It's not a matter of if, but how companies will integrate these practices into their operations.
So to sum it all up, it sounds like the world of TLM is going through some massive changes.
It is. It's driven by technology, consumer demand, and this growing awareness of our impact on the planet. It's a really fascinating time to be following this field.
Definitely. And, as we wrap up, it's got me thinking, as we get more and more reliant on AI and automation and logistics, I wonder, what are some of the ethical considerations that we should be thinking about? Like, how do we ensure a responsible and inclusive future for this industry as it continues to evolve?
That's a really important question, and it's something we all need to be thinking about.
Absolutely. But hey, that's something for our listeners to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of transportation and logistics.
It's been a pleasure.
See you next time for another deep dive into something awesome.